I got it. We're live, just so you know.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. All right, beautiful. All right, so here we are interviewing another top agent team in our office. So for anybody who's joining us, my name is Kim Rogney. I am the team leader over here at Keller Williams Milwaukee Southwest in New Berlin. And so we have about, I want to say 160 agents now. We have an executive leadership team of 8. I've personally been in this business now. I got to cross off my script because we're in a new year, 23 years. I don't even think you guys are 23 years old. Anyway, I'm so blessed to be in this leadership role. Honestly, it affords me the opportunity to get to know my top agents, to help coach them in reaching their goals. And so I decided to start this series for several reasons. One, I think it's really beneficial that the world gets to know who Keller Williams is. We don't do mass advertising. We're very humble. We're kind of secretive. And so we want to get our secret out there, answer any questions that anybody has about our business, or I should say our company. And then at the same time, I think it's great for people like Dawn and Zach to share their story. And you never know who's listening that might be looking at starting a real estate business or wants to work with you to buy or sell their home. So anyway, so joining me here today is Dawn and Zach Shipley. And so we're going to start with learning a little bit about them. So who wants to start with, I guess, sharing about your story and how you arrived here?
Oh boy. Let's start with Dawn. Because Dawn, you're from the area.
Yeah, so I'm from the Milwaukee area. Born and raised, moved away, and then returned. I've been in real estate for about 5 years. My background before this was education, but this was something I always really wanted to do, and it was just finding the right time to make a change. And so when the opportunity came up to make that transition into full-time real estate, Zach was supportive, and I jumped in. And then you joined me about
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
2017.
And that here we are. So now here we are. And we have an executive assistant on our team as well. So shout out to Kim, who is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Kim, a different Kim.
A different Kim.
Like, trust me, you don't want me to be your executive assistant.
I can't think of a bad Kim in my life. So, so my background is I'm originally from the East Coast. My family's from the Washington D.C. area. I grew up most of my young life in Delaware. Moved to Wisconsin on a whim. Met Dawn, and so we've been married for 12 years, and eventually jumped into this. Real estate's a little bit my blood. My aunt and uncle are agents. My uncle sold a house to Joe Biden, so that's a little celebrity connection there. So I got an aspiration now, and certainly hopefully I can sell a house to a head of state at some point.
Yeah. Wow. That was a new little fact. I didn't know that. So, yeah. Okay. So what year did you start real estate, Dawn?
What year did I start?
It was
the dates one. I don't remember dates.
It was 2016.
2016.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So 2016. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so I guess, did you tell a little bit about your history? So you started at Shore West, right?
I was at Shore West for about 2.5 years. Okay. So that was where I got my start. And then we came to Keller Williams. It'll be 3 years this summer, I think.
It was in 2018.
Yeah, so 3 years this summer.
Okay, so that's so interesting. Okay, so I went and I pulled some stats, and I didn't know how far to go back because I couldn't remember either. And I correlate everything to okay, when did we move into our new location? It's kind of like when you have kids and you're like, okay, was that BC before kids? Was that after kids, after the first one? Whatever. So I went and I looked and I pulled numbers from 2018. So in 2018, you closed 19 homes for 3.3 million. Mm-hmm. Then I went and I looked and I did a rolling last 12 months, as we say, from today back 12 months. I didn't do year. I just did what does it look like for 12 months? 42 homes for 10 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So if you were, I guess, tell me why, or what are you doing differently? What systems have you put in place? Like, how has that happened?
So a little bit that's that due to like that 2018, that was the first full year that I was in the business, and we were kind of operating as a team. So some of that's like just getting our footing and figuring out like who does what. But there's still a lot of like stuff us doing together, like sitting next to each other and like doing a buyer presentation or a listing consult or all the other stuff. We didn't learn how to leverage each other yet. We're acting as one person with two heads.
So, and I think the biggest thing overall for us to grow was really having a plan and having an intention and following the plan. So knowing that like we're not both doing the same job, we both have different roles, we both have different strengths, and playing to those strengths, and having a goal, working backwards to set a plan for it. That was, I think that's what made, and that was our 2020 was our best year in business so far. And having that plan and setting that from the start to know where are we today and where do we want to go and how can we get there?
Yeah. So true, because we get into this business because we want the flexibility and the freedom. And the majority of the time, those that get in master that piece of it, and they don't always master the wealth part of it. And in order to get to the wealth part of it, you do have to actually have systems in place. So, and you can build a predictable business. So that's cool. What would you say are some of your favorite tools or models or systems of Keller Williams?
I'd say that the biggest one for us has just been the simple idea of doing like a 36 touch plan, having a plan on how to contact and talk to your database, all the people on a regular basis. And it's not just simply just opening up your phone and calling someone, although that's a big part of it. But like knowing how often to call them, how often to text them, how often do they get an email, how often do they see my posts go up on social media, how often do they get something in the mail from us, and just being really systematic about that. Of that 10 million we did last year, like almost 90% of it was past clients and referrals. It's not like I went out and like did something crazy in order to attract a whole bunch of new business. I just talked to people I already knew.
Yeah, well, and you had to be a great agent and do a great job for them to even refer you. So, I mean, that's a huge testament of how you're building your business and what your customer service level is. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, and I would say on the other side of it, as far as growing our business, the other piece of it would be the we've got having the business there, but then as far as the flip side of it, working on our business instead of in our business, having real clarity around finances. I think a lot of realtors get into the business not thinking about how much they're spending, and how much they're what they're doing to how much is that lead generation costing me, and what is my return on investment? What am I paying? How much am I setting aside for taxes? A lot of people just kind of not being as thoughtful about that. And I think that's before we came to Keller Williams, and specifically to our office. We didn't really have clarity around that, but now it's part of our monthly, where are we financially? How are we meeting our goals? And not just our volume and our number of goals, but also our how much are we able to give a bonus to our assistant because we met all of our goals, and are we reaching our financial goals as well?
Yeah, I love that. Can you think about if like this is a really hard business to do on your own, right? Like you just mentioned being part of a financial group or whatever. Like think about how many mentors, coaches, or masterminds that you guys attend. Like, like it takes a village. Like if you had to count up.
It does. Our thank you speech would be very long. So
I think something that kind of clicked for me real early on is like to be learning based, to constantly like kind of like if there's downtime, it can be really easy to like open up your phone, or it can be really easy to like turn on the TV. So if you're working from home, it can be really easy to do all these kind of like, I don't want to say time waster activities, but that's kind of what they are. The downtime, it's like, just enjoy the downtime. And whereas if it's business hours, then like I try to look for like, well, what can I do with that time? Is there a class I can attend? Is there a mastermind I can do? Yeah, when we were doing stuff, in person at the office a year ago, I can't tell you how many times I hopped into the training room upstairs to sit in on new agent stuff. I would just sit in the back. I'm not like taking anyone else's time, but I would just I would just take some notes and kind of watch and whatever else, and I would just kind of like just try to grab whatever I could. Yeah.
Yeah, and even now on Zoom, the office does so many monthly masterminds. That there's so many that they're on our calendar. We make sure that we're not scheduling anything else during that time. And then we have a business coach as well.
Yeah.
So it really does take a village.
Yeah.
Other people have the things, they know the information that'll help make us successful. And we just we absorb it and then we go do it.
There's something to be said for like growing into something too. So like I think many people thought we were a bigger deal than we were when we started. And it's because I was showing up to everything, because we made ourselves known everywhere we went. And so we felt like we were like this force of nature or something. I don't know if we made it or not yet. I don't know what the deal is, but it felt like everybody knows who the Shipleys are, because like one of us would be going to virtually every single thing that was offered. We'd always be at the team meetings. We'd always show up one or both of us to every training. So we were just always ever present.
Well, how you show up here is how you show up everywhere. I mean, it's so true. So true. And the more you can absorb it, literally, what do they say? It eases into your, I don't know, yourself.
Osmosis. Yes.
Yeah. Or whatever. So, okay. So obviously we can have a lot of different audiences that are watching us here today. If there's an agent out there, like what type of agent would grow and thrive in our environment? Like explain a little bit from your perspective versus mine, like who we are, what our culture is, and who would really be great at KW.
There's definitely, because there are so many, it's a culture of abundance. It's a mindset of abundance. Everybody's willing to share. So I think someone coming in who embodies that mindset, that we can all learn from each other. There are things that they may be an expert in that they're willing to teach about. There's things that they want to learn about. I think really being growth minded and having that similar culture of the mindset of abundance and growth is that's what I would say. Like those are the people who stick out to me that would really be a good fit for Keller Williams.
I think it's also about being humble and knowing that you still have room to grow, and that any success you have, you're willing to share. So I think somebody who's willing to kind of get in and like help a new person, or somebody who's willing to, or a new person who wants help from a veteran, these are people who would be good fits. It's because we are kind of all we're kind of in it together, and so the agents who do best here are the ones who plug in.
Yeah, for sure. What about a new agent? Like if somebody's listening right now and they've always wanted to get into real estate, what would be your greatest advice for them?
Show up. It's the same thing. It's the same advice here. So it's really like, I think Keller Williams would be a great place for somebody new to start. And we've talked to new agents about, what are you looking for? And there's definitely community. There's definitely a system in place, because there's systems for everything. So a system in place for new agents. We mentor new agents as well. So if you're matched with somebody who knows what they're doing, who can give you advice, and kind of take you in as part of their we think about them. We talk about them every day, our mentees, and we make sure that we're giving them value.
real estate can be really like being thrown in the water, like thrown straight into the deep end, if you're not careful. And so having somebody that you can go to for support, I don't know that I would be where I am without Dawn. Dawn started 2 years before I did, so
Yeah.
she was my mentor. And so like I think that everybody should have that experience, have somebody who kind of has already made a couple mistakes and can teach you the which way not to do things, if nothing else. And then so that way it's not just going into a class and sitting and listening for an hour, because that's tough for some people, especially for the types of people that real estate attracts. A lot of what do you guys say, like the high D personalities, the type A personalities, the outgoing extroverts, whatever. They don't want to sit still for an hour. They want to do.
Yeah. Well, that's the other too. The flip side is not, being the professional student. Like eventually you got to like just do. You can't overthink it, right? Like, oh, I gotta make sure my website looks perfect before I go, find a deal. And it's like, no, gotta go find somebody who could use your help. So
Right.
That stuff will always be waiting for you. I mean, there's a ton of stuff I'd love to do with our website, but you know what? It's just like, it's not the most important thing in the world. And when I get time to do it, I'll do it.
Yeah, so true. So you guys are amazing. Like I just was thinking, okay, so you mentor new agents. Zach, you are part of our tech tribe.
Yeah.
Because we're very innovative here and very technical, have a lot of technology systems to offer our agents. Dawn, you're on the Associate Leadership Council, or we call it our ALC. It's like a board of directors that helps vote on policies and you become leaders. Like you should be telling your buyers and sellers that, like, you are true leaders. That's pretty cool. You're not just running a real estate business. You are leaders in this office. And I just adore you guys and cannot thank you enough, because you are like the epitome of the culture of Keller Williams. So that's pretty amazing.
That kind of goes back to what I was saying before about being humble. It's like, I don't tell a lot of people that should.
You should.
I think we'd probably earn a lot of trust a lot quicker than we do if we said like, oh, by the way, I'm kind of a big deal. But I don't want to say that.
Yeah. Okay, so right here, right now, if anybody listening is part of Dawn and Zach Shipley's database, buyers, sellers, friends, these aren't just realtors, these are leaders. And you want to work with leaders, especially in this marketplace. So let's dig into your business a little. Tell me how many families you are looking to help this year. What are your goals?
Our goal this year is 66, which is growth from our last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of growth.
It's a lot of growth.
Okay, is this the first time Zach's hearing this number?
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, it's just scary. It's like we did, like you said, what was it, 40-some, 44 last year? From 22 the year before. It's like, well, I'm just going to keep doing 22 more than I did before every year. When does it stop? It doesn't. That's the problem.
Well, and so, like, what is your biggest need in your business right now then to reach that goal?
So it's a seller's market. So our biggest need really is connecting with people who think that it may be a good time. Maybe they're thinking like, I've got goals and this could be the time to capitalize on a good market. And, we'll help them figure out their next steps. Are they downsizing? Are they moving up? Are they moving out of the area? Whatever the goal may be, there's a plan for it and help them build that. But really, it's kind of, I feel like a broken record lately, but it's our buyers need lists, or need homes to look at, homes to buy. And so really it is sellers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's be honest here, like how many active buyers that are willing to endure this time, right? Like they're willing to enter the market, right? It's not for everybody. How many active buyers do you have right now?
8.
Yeah. Ready, willing, able to buy.
Yes. Looking.
If their ideal house came up tomorrow, they would buy it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And have any of those 8 already written offers and been in competition and not gotten?
Yes.
Half of them, yeah.
Yes. I'd say all of them. Just about all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the message. Like, seriously, what price would it take for you to sell your home today?
Right.
There is a little bit of like a kind of like a misnomer that like every house that goes in the MLS is just selling. I'm showing a house tomorrow that's like been on the market for 50 days. So I think there needs to be like the homes need to be
What
good.
is that, a cat, a dog, or a rabbit?
It's my dog. That's what she does on Zoom calls. So
If we sit down and talk to the computer for more than 10 minutes, she has to be part of it. So
She
yeah.
wants to be interviewed.
she
What,
sits on the chair behind me.
okay, what is her name?
This is Rosie.
Yeah.
Rosie. Rosie,
Yeah.
do you have a house to sell? What price would it take for you to sell your house?
It's got to have a fenced-in yard. So that's,
See, this interview is so exciting. Dawn's on the edge of her seat.
Oh.
It's the dogs jump out
I
in the
know.
apartment.
Okay, I'm gonna get her a treat. if
Okay.
it's okay.
I don't care. You
Well,
know
now it's me
what?
and the dog.
We're in a new world. We're in the new Zoom world, and anything goes when you're at home. So
You know, let me say that we are still people. There's no
Yes.
there's no like not there's no pretending that we're not something else.
Rosie. Yeah. Okay. So this home that you found that has been on the market for a while, is that because you dug that baby up? Like, did you have to go scour and find it?
Yeah, I mean, just looking through a listing. I mean, when someone says like, I'm looking for this many bedrooms and in these kind of areas, and at this price point, and inevitably there's going to be like one or two on there that people think has like a little bit of rot on it. It's been in the MLS for too
What's
long.
wrong with it?
What's wrong with it?
Yes.
Sometimes there's nothing wrong with it. It's just it's been there for a while, and the pictures are bad, or
Yeah.
or the description's bad, or it doesn't show its most
Yeah.
valuable thing. That's how we found the house we live in right now. They built the garage. They didn't advertise it.
We snuck
You're
it.
so true, right? And that's why you're the professional and you're running a
Yes,
business. You're
exactly.
not just selling homes. Like,
Mhm.
you're willing to go and find it. Like right
Yeah.
now, that's what we have to do. And man, I'd like to write on a home that hasn't been on the market for only 2 hours. So
Right.
that's awesome. So, okay. We always talk about like what we do, right? We sell homes. Obviously, that's what you do. But why do you do what you do? Like, what does it mean to you personally?
So we've been working on a team mission vision statement, and as part of that we each came up with what our personal
Mhm.
mission and vision statements were for our lives. So encompassing work and encompassing business, family, like our whole what's your overarching theme in your life. And we realized that everybody on our team it's learning based, community focused, wanting to be a trusted expert, a resource for people.
Mhm.
And there's an emotional element to helping somebody find a home, or helping them sell something. We've had sellers who we've gotten hugs from at the end of the day because it's such a relief to have it sold. But really our whole team's focus is about being a resource in the community, being a resource for our clients. And that's of course it's fun to look at homes, and it's fun to market, it's fun to be around people, but really having that, what can we do to help, this is where we live.
Yeah.
And we want to take care of the community we live in.
I have to feel good about what I'm doing. I don't want to say anything bad about previous jobs, but there's somewhere like I did the work and I didn't feel like I was really improving anybody's life at the end of the day. Now, did I make, if I talked to 30 people, did I improve the life of any of those people? And maybe there's one or two. I didn't make anybody's day worse. It's just like, with sales jobs, like, what am I really doing by selling? I can't help but notice, like, over my shoulder here, there's a picture of us in Puerto Rico that got paid for by a job I did before this. I was very successful at that job, but it didn't fill me with joy. I didn't feel passionate about it. So it didn't matter that I was very successful at it, because like I was willing to take the pay cut for a couple of years to start real estate, because I wanted something like that filled my soul up a little bit more. And that sounds corny to say about about real estate because it's
Don't
not
worry, we're only recording you. It's no big deal. No one will hear this. But
Lives on the internet
You know?
forever.
yeah, like that photo got paid for by HBO. I don't have any emotional attachment to the home box office channel, whereas I have an emotional attachment to all the people that we sold houses to.
Yeah.
A lot of these people I like. We both genuine attachments. I said a while ago, this is the best friends business. The more you can be the best friend of every person you talk to, the better you're going to be. Treat because when you're showing people, especially like now where you're like seeing a lot of houses, there are clients who I see way more than I see family or friends.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. And what you do does change lives. If you think about, and the outside world doesn't always think they're like glamorous. Oh, homes, you get to look at homes all day and whatever. But there are people that need to move in or out of a home because maybe they lost a loved one, or they're going through divorce, or maybe it's a joyful thing because they are getting married or having a baby and they're moving up, or I don't know, you can literally change people's lives by teaching them how to be investors, right? Invest in real estate. You can build their wealth. I mean, all of those things are life related. That's a big deal. That's a very big deal. So that is pretty cool. And I love that it brings your joy, fills your bucket, as we want to say. And honestly, if you want to go to Puerto Rico yourself, we can plan
for that.
Yeah,
you can plan it.
I still take that trip. It's just like, it's just now it's paid for with money that I feel really proud of.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, totally. All right. Is there anything else you would like to share, I guess, with the audience before we dig into a little personal?
What else do we want to share?
I don't know.
What else?
I don't think I have anything big about the business itself. I mean, just that I attribute a lot of our success here towards just being around other people who I want to be more like. I said, you've interviewed some of these people that I've kind of modeled ourselves after when we come in here. Like I said, I wanted to be these people before they became the next level up. I wanted to pass them. And it wasn't necessarily about wanting to be number one. It was just like wanting to be like them. Like the mindset of abundance is a real thing to me. It's like, no, we should all be doing at least 10 million. We should all be doing 100 transactions a year. Like, I think I don't want to take something away from other people. I just want to do that well too. I want the people who are not doing as well to come up here with me.
Yeah. And there's a level too of like you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So just being around those ideas and that mindset of just success. It's even, I think, even like some of the books that we're reading and the podcasts that we listen, like things around like the KW culture, the Think Like a CEO podcast from Gary Keller. I'm kind of obsessed with the Empire Builders. Zach hears about it all the time. So they said.
Sometimes I'll make a suggestion to her and she'll dismiss it. And then the Empire Builders was like the same suggestion a week later. And she's like, that's a good idea. I'm like, I told you to do that.
I planted the seed. Right. They just made me realize.
Right. That is what a successful marriage is. Let's be honest. It's not you said, it's they said. It's the same with parenting. And we could just make some crap up and go, oh, well, I heard like so-and-so, and then they hear it. So all day long. I mean, seriously, how long have you guys been married? How long?
12 years.
12 years, right? I've been married 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20. I think it's going to be 26 this year. Like, man, I don't listen to what Nick says.
I work with him.
Yeah, and you work together.
We're standing right there next to you. You're like,
wow, that takes some special people. And oh my gosh, we have so many married couples. Like, how do you survive?
This is the most common question we get, or most common comment when people find out like we're married and we work together. I hear a lot. Well, I couldn't work with my wife. Well, I couldn't work with my husband. And I was like, no, that's good. And there's certainly plenty of people out there where like that's how the relationship works. Is you have to have time apart and then time together. And yeah,
Yeah.
We're having more time apart now, and because our roles are changing. So a lot of times we are kind of coming together at the end of the day, going like, "Oh, tell me
About
about,
your day.
tell me what happened. We weren't together the whole time today because we had different appointments all day long."
Yeah. Well, and it's so true because real estate, and not everybody thinks of it like a business.
Mhm.
And with real estate, you need a sales department, you need a marketing department, you need a technology department, right? You need all departments. And so you can really hone in and do what fits you best. Like, what is your skill set and what are you best at versus what I'm best at? And so that's awesome. It's a partnership then. So,
Mhm.
all right. Okay. Podcasts. Okay, so you went down that road a little bit. So yeah, share with the audience, like, what are your favorite podcasts or books that you would recommend?
We just finished reading the 12-week year
Yeah.
too. So that's another thing we've been implementing this year, kind of breaking the big goals down into a smaller time frame. And that's some of what we were doing unknowingly last year was we had focused on a monthly goal instead of focusing on that big year goal. So, okay, so if we want to do this many transactions, what do we need to be doing each month to get there? So the 12-week year has been focusing more on, what are we doing each week to get us to our 12-week goal, and breaking it down that way. And that one's been a good business book this year.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
Any non-business? Like, does anybody here read non-business books or
You
non?
got some
Almost
podcasts.
exclusively. So whenever people ask what podcast you listen to, I'm like, well, I listen to Kind of Funny Games Daily. That's the one I listen to most.
Okay, wait. Kinda Funny Games Daily.
Yeah, so it's a podcast by these guys. They're in San Francisco. They talk about whatever video game news can't come for the day. The company's called Kind of Funny, and they call their fans best friends, which is where I got the best friend from. So like I've been listening to these guys for like 5 years. It's like they're as close as any family I have. I've written in a bunch of times, so like it's like I listen to it while I walk the dog every single day. So like there's these guys just talking about video games. It's a perfect way for me to unwind and whatever else. But also like I see like the same struggles they go into because they bought a studio last year and they were ready to move in, and now they've been working from home for a year, and they talk about that stuff constantly. And like the struggles they go on. So it's like, okay, these guys are a completely different industry, but we're in the same boat. What can we do to keep ourselves afloat, for another week, for another month?
Yeah, it's so good. And really, business is business. So even when you think about budget model and the models and the systems that we follow, business is business. Like, you can give a lot of value to your clients just about how you're running your business, like whatever small business owner you have that's in your database, like you could share so much that would help them. So, all right, what else? Any Netflix binges?
We just finished watching WandaVision.
WandaVision was fun on Disney Plus. Right? I watch all the Marvel stuff. I'm just a big dork, big comic book guy. And so that is kind of working on that. That's kind of informing some of the community stuff I want to do going forward. A big Christmas present this year, Dawn gave me I'm sure you see this around, like the little free library. So it's like a box you put in front of your house that you can just stuff books in it.
Okay.
It's still like in progress. It's put together. I still need to paint it and whatever. But my big idea is to fill this thing with comic books. There's already like 3 or 4 little free libraries on our street. So what can I do different? And so my idea was like, okay, I'm gonna put like a bunch of superhero logos on the side of this thing, fill it with comic books, stuff for all ages, and that way I got like something like extremely different, a hobby I can share with the world. And that way, when I finish reading something, I can just put it in the box and it'll disappear and go into some kid's bookshelf.
Yeah, I love it. So, okay. What is, maybe besides that, comic books and whatever it is you're reading, what is something interesting about yourself that nobody knows? Like, do you play any instruments, run marathons? I don't know, have a twin brother or sister, or?
It's always the hardest question.
We like, unfortunately, we haven't run. We were like kind of running realtors for a little while there. We did 5Ks for a bit. I'm getting back into running. The weather's starting to improve, so it's a good way for me to exercise. So I do like
it's
that.
a great community thing. Like you being
Yeah.
in the community, it's so
Mhm.
easy to just glom on to what's already happening, right? And create a
Yeah.
movement around it.
Yep.
You're on the PTA at our school.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like a fun. What's an
What's a
interesting
fun?
fact?
Come on, I'll ask you.
When we were dating, when we lived in Madison, Wisconsin, we did there was a public access channel like someone we knew was like doing I don't know if you remember this video game Rock Band Guitar Hero where they had the plastic instruments. So they did like a kind of American Idol type thing with people just playing that video game, and so we formed a rock band playing this video game.
A public access.
And it was
Okay, so like
culminated in-
I could like dig that up somewhere.
Yes, our band was called The Recession
Oh
because it
my
was.
God.
we were in the middle of the recession.
So we all wore ties and button-down shirts as if we were
Yeah.
unemployed.
I don't know where the footage for the last episode went, but there's at least one. I have one of the videos of us playing like on YouTube somewhere, and it's it was a real fun goofy thing.
Yeah.
There was a time when I pursued I was trying to pursue acting a little bit, so I'm an extra in the movie Public Enemies. I sit behind Lily Taylor in the scene where Johnny Depp as what
He's at the courthouse.
is the courthouse. I can't remember the Dillinger, not Dillinger. So I have this 1 2-minute scene almost committed to memory because we were there for 12 hours. I was one of the last extras to leave. So at some point, it's just me, this one other guy, Michael Mann, and Johnny Depp were the only people left in the room.
What?
It's like a bunch of grips and stuff like that. Johnny Depp had no lines in this scene. So he just sits there. And man, he didn't open his mouth once. He didn't say hi to anybody. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying he was
at work.
He was at work.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Do you still DJ at all?
I do, yeah. I haven't done that in a bit, but I'm hoping to kind of get back into it. I got a couple weddings that I got booked last year that have been like kind of indefinitely delayed. So whenever they can happen, I said just email me, just give me like at least a week's notice, and we'll put it back together. I went to school for broadcasting in 2001. So it's Broadcasting Institute of Maryland, which unfortunately the school's closed down, but I still kind of connect with alumni from time to time. I started DJing after that. So it's something I've never quite fully given up. I've done a ton of weddings. I've done broadcast. I would love to be able to get into more of that, but it's a fun thing. So I only went through it a couple times
It's a
a year.
hobby, right? Like, okay, so do either of you play the piano behind you?
Our kids do.
Okay, so not neither of you.
Trumpet, but like
I could probably play Inagata Devita by Iron Butterfly, just dun 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 dun. dun.
So no, our kids play piano. So we've got 2 kids. Yeah.
I want to foster like a love of music for with the kids too. They've got it's funny how they take after us, but then they don't like all the same things that we do.
Yeah.
They love playing video games, and they won't play any of the games I play.
Yeah. Funny. So can we share? So you said when you were dating. So one of my things that I love about you guys, can you share like how you met?
Oh
gosh.
I love this. Come on.
I don't think it's as unusual anymore.
No. At the time, it's like, we met on Match.com.
Oh.
Can you imagine using a website to find somebody to meet? It's like now it's like everybody meets over whatever.
Do they? I mean, I don't know. I'm old school, so I don't know. Like, do you run into a lot of people who have met on Match.com? Or anywhere, somewhere.
Similar sites.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we met on Match.com. I was in school in Madison.
Mm-hmm.
You were selling cars.
I was a car salesman in Madison, Wisconsin at the time. Yeah.
Our first date was at Potbelly Sam's Works at the West Town Mall.
Yeah.
It was a Friday, and
it was a Sunday.
Oh, it was a Sunday, and they were closing at.
They close like 5. They close like early. Yeah. It's the mall. The mall closes early on Sunday. I wasn't thinking about that.
So we got there like half an hour before it closed, and they were like, "Go sit outside because it's closing." And then
So we ate our sandwiches outside, and then we just like stayed there until.
it was like 2 a.m.
No, it wasn't quite that
1
late.
a.m.
But it was
The middle of the night.
it was late.
The
It was,
security guy told us to leave. So
Oh my gosh.
because we're sitting at the little table outside the mall just talking, and it's August, so it's not like it's hot outside or cold outside. It was just nice, even like even after it got dark.
It's October.
Was it October?
Yeah, it was October.
Oh, you're right. You should have thinking of someone else.
Oh, it was October.
Either way,
Oh,
like,
it was
I
so
don't know. I just love that story. Aw. Okay, we're gonna play this real quick. I'm gonna start
Okay.
with you. I'm gonna start with you, Zach.
All right.
Coffee or tea? Why are you laughing?
Okay, so I referred a client to somebody in Las Vegas, and to thank me, she said like, "Oh, do you like coffee or tea?" And I thought, a lot of people send me Starbucks gift cards, coffee. So I said, I'm going to be unique. I'm going to say tea. And so she sets me up with like a tea of the month club, and I got this gigantic box of tea. And then yesterday, another gigantic box of tea comes up. It's like, I can't drink this back. So anybody who's at Keller Williams Milwaukee Southwest, check the break room. I'm going to put a bunch of tea bags in there. It's good tea. I can't drink that much that quick. I might have like 1 or 2 cups a week thing. This is like have a cup every single day.
Yeah. So he likes tea.
I like tea.
Just don't get him any today. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Good.
Wine or beer or neither?
For which of us? Either of us?
I'm on Zach. I'm gonna stay on
me.
Zach.
I'm neither. I've been sober since July.
I love it. Love it. And you should be proud. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Okay, cupcakes or chips?
I always make fun of him because he eats chips. Like he eats chips all the
I
time.
love chips.
I don't know. So my impression of him is just eating chips.
So what kind of chips do you eat?
I like barbecue. I like chips and salsa. I like potato chips. I like just
Okay,
chips and
it's
barrels.
chips. Okay, that
Nice
was
I've got here's a side thing. I've got a really bad dairy allergy, so I can't do anything like Cheetos or Doritos, anything with like cheese on it. But I love like different kinds of flavored chips. So yeah, I chips.
all right. Dog or cat?
That's tough. Like I never had a dog until the dog that you saw fly over our shoulder earlier. So I really have like an emotional connection to this dog now. But I won't say cat's
Rosie,
my
just so
priority.
you know, Rosie can hear you. So
Yes.
dog or cat?
But we've got a cat upstairs too, and
Yeah.
he can also
Oh.
hear. So,
Henry's 12. He's been
Yes.
with us as long as we've been together.
yeah, so
So Henry the cat.
You can say both.
It's both.
Okay. All right, Dawn, coffee or
Yes.
tea?
coffee. Coffee.
Like
Just coffee. That's
Sure,
it.
coffee.
Coffee.
just coffee. Like, okay, so
A
like when
whole
you
pot.
Yeah.
No special. It doesn't need to be Starbucks. It's just the black. No sugar. No
Oh.
cream. Just give me coffee.
I'll get up first. I'll turn on Mr. Coffee and fill it up for 12 cups, and I won't have a single sip. She will drink the
Coffee.
entire thing. Whole pot by herself.
oh, like a whole pot of like caffeinated?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And are you like, how some people are like, I don't drink coffee past 11 or whatever. Like, are
It's
you
caffeine all day. It's a
coffee all
bad
day?
habit. Yeah. It's coffee until lunch, and then I switch to the Diet Coke, and that's
There's a
Beautiful.
Crystal Light with caffeine as well. It's also quite good.
just tired.
All right. So for you, wine or beer or neither?
Both. So it depends. Like a beer in the evening is nice. Wine with friends. So
Yeah. Red wine or white wine?
both. So depends on the season. Depends on what when I have a group of friends who gets together for, we call it wine and cheese. And we haven't gotten together in about a year, but we do it virtually now, so we all get to pick our wine. But we'd have themes: is it a red night or a white night? And
Yeah.
everybody brings a bottle, and
Beautiful. Nice. All right. How about you? Cupcakes or chips?
cupcakes.
There you go.
I like sugar, so that's sweet.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
the
much more salty. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then dog or cat?
I'm more of a dog person. I like the cat, but I don't. The cats are nice. I like cats, but dogs are where it's Yeah. So
Buyer or seller? Just kidding. Totally.
Both.
Well, we need a seller.
so
We need buyers to buy.
they're both great.
Integral part of
Yep.
the
I know,
part of the
I
system.
know.
You can't have one without the other.
Yep.
Just because they're not balanced doesn't mean you don't have both. So
Yeah.
I would not be.
Gotta have
Each
them
brings
both.
their own challenges.
Yep, yep. All right. Well, this has been amazing. I thank you so much for your time. And it has truly been a pleasure since you joined KW back in our old location. I remember our first meeting. I think, Zach, you weren't quite full-time in real estate. I feel like at that time.
Yeah, I still had like the Uber sticker on my car.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
right?
still picking up whatever other stuff I could do at the time.
Yeah. And I knew when we met, you were like, we're not going to be recruited. And I was like, yes, I want you on my team. It has been just a pure joy at watching you. Like when you said at the beginning, when we met, you were like, you know, the how does somebody succeed in this business, or the advice you would give a new agent, you're like, show up.
Mhm.
You guys have shown up, right? There's nobody pushing you out of bed to make the 9 a.m.s. You got to get yourself there. That's the hardest thing about this industry. And when you show up, that's when you can really, truly change lives, change the lives of your buyers and sellers, change the lives of the team members that you decide to hire, Kim or anybody else in the future, and then change your life, which then in turn can change your family's life. So I thank you. I love being in business with you. And so thank you for your time.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Kim.
Yeah.
Thank you for
All right.
calling us.
Yes.
3 years ago.
Yes.
You bet.
Best decision we ever made. We say it all the time.
Yeah.
All right, we're out. Bye,
Awesome.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.